So Jess, your HR lawyer schools, what was the vision behind it?
Well, I used to work for the local authority many years ago. We delivered a service to schools as part of a team. And as schools have changed to become academies, the HR role became a solitary position within an academy or within a multi-academy trust. And what I wanted to do is make HR people still feel part of a team. So we wanted to offer a service that is kind of supporting those HR people and offering a what you want when you want it.
And it's also appropriate to the individual schools. It doesn't break the bank, allowing these schools to spend more money on their main priority, which is the children.
And so what do you do that's different?
Well, the local authorities and other law firms that provide the kind of service we do a great job. But how we differ is that we become the colleagues to those HR people in school. So we become part of their team, we work alongside them, either remotely or we go into schools and we can assist them on project work, or we can just be there to lend a hand if things get too busy and there are capacity issues. So it's about being present, sort of side by side with those HR people in school, and saying to them that no job is too big or too small, we just want to help, and it's all important to us as it is to them.
And what do you actually do then for schools?
Well, over the years we've seen lots of things that HR need to do or want to do, but they simply don't get time to do it. The main areas are things such as grievances, absences, disciplinaries, and also project work such as restructures and redundancies, and also redesign as well.
Yeah. And I think things like managing absence, it's a massive money saver if we can help them manage it. And so it might not be a priority for that school, but actually if we got on board and helped them, it would save a lot of time and a lot of money. And so we do things like we can review their absence, we can provide a report with some recommendations. It just helps that HR person to kind of get ahead of the game and manage that absence and get people back into work.
And I mean, we feel that we can really make a difference for our clients and help lighten the load for them.
Yeah, like finding the time to investigate a disciplinary or grievance can be difficult, but we can do that. We can support them by conducting the investigation or by supporting the line manager to do it.
And trade unions often feel that when we're involved that it's more impartial, because if their internal HR deals with the investigation, they might then be prevented from dealing with the disciplinary. So it just helps the procedure run a lot smoother for our clients.
And is it just individual schools that you do work for?
No, not at all. We work with local authority maintained schools, multi-academy trusts, academies, nurseries, any independent school.
And so is it just ad hoc work that you do?
No, I mean, whilst we want to work with the schools plugging any gap that they might have with their current provider, for example, we would really love to partner with them on a retainer basis so that we can get to know them, get to know the multi-academy trust, and so we can provide the best advice for that school in relation to the multi-academy trust that it's part of or the academy itself. We see that HR people within schools have a wider team available in us. In working with us, they get to feel part of that team.
Yeah, and we run a very successful HR network which is based on this principle. We meet to share our knowledge and discuss any concerns that people in HR may have. They simply don't need to feel as if they're on their own.
So Hannah, you work within the education system and you work with your HR lawyers for schools.
Yes, Jess Hannon specifically at the moment. We've got 13 academies within our multi-academy trust, and I'm an HR business partner that supports those schools. And sometimes when you stand alone, you need an extra pair of hands, or as I like to say, a critical friend along the route. And your HR lawyer for schools has provided exactly what we needed.
And so how have they actually managed to help you?
Well, we wanted to quantify really how much work we needed in HR, and that was the first element or involvement from your HR lawyer for schools. So Jess came and visited our organisation with myself and the Deputy Chief Executive, and we started to talk about what value they can add to the specific projects that we were working on. So it's not always the best course of action just to go and recruit somebody. Sometimes that bought-in service when you need it during high volumes of work works better. And after the project's complete, I can say now that it worked really well with Jess. The work was on time, it was clear, it was personable, yet professional, always at the end of the phone, and the work that was delivered was specifically in line with what we wanted. So nothing but positive praise for the work that was done.
And so, how does it benefit if you're a standalone HR within a school or a business?
I think when you're standalone, you've got to be really aware of the risks to your organisation, and you've got to feel very confident in supporting your chief exec or your deputy chief exec in those risks and managing them. So sometimes when you're in a HR process and you are standalone, you might come to a point where you hit a bit of a wall, and to protect your organisation, buying in some additional HR advice pays in the long term. Because what you don't want is HR's hands all over something consistently. You want some impartiality to it, and you want to be able to evidence that more than one professional has cast a judgment on the process. So when you are, sometimes you've got to sell that to your chief exec in the sense that I know you have your internal HR, here is the rationale of why I think at this point in the process getting some service in from your HR lawyer for schools is going to be advantageous in the long run.